Hello, and thank you for tuning in today. I am Rolanda Polly, the publisher of Luxe Interiors and Design in Dallas, Fort Worth. At Luxe, we champion the art of elevated living and inspire you to connect with those who create it. In our series, Luxe Local, that is exactly what we plan to do: inspire you and connect you with the artisans that created it. In this episode of Luxe Local, Dallas Fort Worth, I'm excited to welcome Botond Laszlo, president and founder of MHM Living, a full-service design and build firm. I'm very proud to call Botond a partner. As I've gotten to know him over the past few years, I have come to learn how personal each job and client is to him and his team, and his unique approach to how they collaborate with others within the design community. This truly sets him and his team apart from others. Botond, thank you so much for being here today.
Rolanda, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction.
To kind of start things off, Botond, can you give us a little background on yourself, your company, and how you got started? And if you don't mind sharing with our audience where your fabulous accent is from, I'm sure everybody's a little curious before we get started with everything.
That's right. It usually comes up either in the first 30 seconds or the first 2 minutes. Um, yeah, so about me, I was born and raised in a small town in Transylvania. And I've been handy and working and building stuff around the house since as long as I can remember, really as a kid. And came to the States in 2001, and I've been studying architecture. I worked in an architecture firm for a while. Then in 2004, I started my business, and at the time it was called Marvelous Home Makeovers. Actually, it was called that for quite a few years.
I
And
remember that.
right. And after as everyone and every business and every person is evolving, we realized late 2020 actually, but the rebranding happened last year, and we rebranded to MHM Living. And because of the personal element that you just described in the introduction, so what we do is really different within the industry. It's about, we are in a people business, so first and foremost it's about our clients. So literally every decision it stems from of like, how do we impact the client experience, so how we do that. And ultimately that's what led to the rebranding. That's how the living came from, because we are all living an amazing experience, and that's what we are aiming for. That's the background.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and I do believe your evolve and rebrand is a true fit for what y'all stand for. If you wouldn't mind, telling me a little bit more. You've told me about your brand, but kind of take me through your process and what makes you unique, and maybe where our audience may have seen some of you and some of your work. If I'm correct, I know that you all were at the Kips Bay in Dallas in 2021. Is that correct?
It is, yes. It was quite an interesting and also rewarding experience, and just really partnering with some amazing designers in the design community. And it was crazy timelines, but ultimately the process was really neat. And I feel um, so fortunate that I was able to be part of it, and like, show what we can do, and really be as a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were asking about a process. So our process is really unique in a sense that we do not start construction until literally everything is decided.
Mm-hmm.
So every project starts with a discovery phase, right? We call it design and planning, but even before we get to the design and planning, it's we call it the alignment phase, right? It's so critical to be to be in the same wavelength. Make sure we truly understand, make sure we truly connect with our clients, because I always say this is like a mini marriage, right? It really needs to be a rewarding experience for both parties. So making sure we are in alignment, asking all those, painful questions up front. It's, and jokingly say, sometimes when you go to a doctor, right, you just
Right.
have to let it out. But again, it establishes trust, but also it allows us to see how we are in our element and how we're going to continue, building that relationship, not only throughout the process, but even after. A lot of our clients are, friends. Literally, I can call them personal friends at this point. So that's the beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of the relationship.
Well, I believe that's one of the best forms of, knowing if it's an alignment and if there was a good relationship, and if the, builder was, if if the builder was a good fit with the client, is if you can call each other friends after the project is completed, then I think it's a job well done. Because I don't know if many people can say that they have had that experience. So kudos to you and your team on that. And I can definitely see how that does separate you from others within the industry.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. I know you. We kind of discussed, what distinguishes you in the industry with the homeowners and your clients. I know you have, a unique approach as well with how you like to collaborate with people in the design community, specifically, the designers and architects. Can you speak a little bit more to that process?
Absolutely. So I feel like, my job, as leading of the business, obviously, is creating the culture of our business, and that goes back into the relationships and partnerships that we create with other firms, right? But our job really is to build the team. And what I mean by that, I actually explained this to someone earlier today, that is so critical to make sure that the team is in alignment of what the client's desire is, right? A lot of it comes into, even believe it or not, about making sure that personalities match. Like every time when it's possible, we actually trying to assign, certain project managers to certain personalities, because again, it further enhances that connection, and when the communication is flowing, it just makes things so much simpler and easier.
Right.
And again, the same thing with all our partners, whether it's a design team, there's an architect, an engineering team, to art, artists, and whatever that looks like. So our job is to really create the team, and we are relying on their expertise, just like a general, medicine or doctor doesn't do heart surgery, right? We don't want to be a generalist. We want to make sure we have a team who's really an expert in their field.
Right. Well, very, very well put. My next question, I'm sure our audience would like to know, is what does the future hold? I mean, I feel like within the past few years, your company has definitely grown and evolved. Where do you see your company in the future? Are there any big initiatives or launches that we should know about right now? I know a lot of your business is here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I understand you do some business in Durango as well. Tell us, or if we can be privy to it, what the future holds for MHM Living.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for the question. I see the future quite bright, and I am generally an optimistic person, so maybe that's why. But jokes aside, really, we have grown, as you noticed, in the past few years, and we're continuing to grow here in the Dallas Fort Worth market. Primarily, this is our home base. But a few years ago, we fall in love with Colorado, Southwest Colorado, Durango, specifically, as you mentioned. And I'm seeing so much connection that we actually have clients, we have here in Dallas who also love the mountains, right? So it kind of evolved into that, and it's just a natural fit. And really, we want to be where our clients are. And so Durango's expansion is really the next big step, which is actually ongoing. It's happening as we speak.
Wonderful. Well, it is, you're very fortunate to have those clients that, do a lot of them probably do have second homes in that market or nearby market. So it sounds like
Correct.
it's a wonderful, wonderful next step and move and growth pattern for the company. Is there anything that maybe I did not ask or go over that you want to note or add and share with our audience today?
Well, the only thing I really just like to add is, if you haven't checked us out, look us up, do a little bit of a research on us, because we are truly different. And if you're skeptical, give us a call and let us show you what's really possible. And I really mean this, both the design community and homeowners alike. I promise you, we are really different. If you want to see more of our work, then the website is called mhmliving.com, and we are also on Instagram. So you can see progress pictures there and just kind of see what we are about.
Wonderful. Well, I know I have to say I follow you on social, and the work I always see is jaw dropping. So it's very beautiful. So thank you again for joining us and sharing a little bit more about your company and your team and really what separates you within the industry. That will wrap up today's Luxe Local Dallas Fort Worth programming. Thank you, Botond, for joining us, and see you next time for another day dedicated to celebrating the best of local design with Luxe and Design TV.